I'm kind of surprised you didn't go with the Christmas one. Because we're past Thanksgiving now.
December. I forgot.
I was seriously waiting for it.
I was waiting for the Christmas intro. What's up, guys? This is The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris. We got Haley the Bear.
That is me.
Producer Josh.
I'm feeling much better.
That's good. That's good. You don't sound wheezy.
No, so that's
this
good.
week. That's good. That's good. That's good.
That's improvement.
And Ryan from Miami.
To be fair, we should be using the Christmas intro all year long because the tree's been up since last year.
Lord, Ryan, no. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope it was amazing. I hope you had a great time with your family and your friends. I hope you got good food. And we are now officially into the holiday season. We are in Christmas territory now.
Yeah, because the Friday after Thanksgiving is when Christmas starts.
Correct.
Not before.
So I've said this before. If you guys are just listening to this podcast for the first time today, or you did not hear this last year, the minute that you get done eating Thanksgiving lunch, dinner, whenever you make it,
Nope.
it is then
the next
officially
day.
Christmas season.
Then you're just rushing it. You're rushing your day. You spend all this time to get to Thanksgiving Day to celebrate Thanksgiving Day. You go to bed and you wake up. That's why Black Friday starts at midnight.
Nope. The turkey gets his day. However, the minute you have eaten,
you're giving him half a day at this point.
The minute you have eaten the turkey.
No, that's a lie.
Thanksgiving is about the meal, so whenever the meal is done, technically.
No,
Yeah.
but also some people don't get
Christmas
to
time.
eat dinner till 8 or 9 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, then they should.
That's all right.
Celebrate until afterwards.
Yeah.
no,
you don't.
that's still not accurate. It's not when you're done eating dinner. It's
Your
the
voice
next
is,
day.
Your voice is still thin.
It's still a little
It's still,
However,
still a little,
I mean, they do Black Friday sales on Thanksgiving Day at 4 p.m.
Even though that's not Friday.
You're a mean one,
That doesn't count. That's just businesses being selfish. So
Mr. Grinch.
Also, can I pick a bone with the Black Friday sales this year?
I haven't looked at any because I'm broke. So.
Yes, before you get there, I just want to say that Black Friday doesn't really exist anymore.
So
I used to go do like the stand in line and wait thing with my mom. It was like a tradition with us. And
let me just be very clear.
It's just gone now. It's not the same thing.
10% to 20% off is not a Black Friday sale.
No, it's not.
That is a coupon that I would get in my email any week of the year.
Yep.
When I think of Black Friday, I need 90% off stuff. I want 65-inch TVs for like $250. That is what a Black Friday sale is. And this year has been incredibly lackluster.
Oh yeah.
It's been lackluster for a couple of years now. If you've been paying attention,
It's true.
Well, and please don't mind the vacuum in the background here because we are working people as we talk. Black Friday sales online top 9 million, which is a new record for the record.
I wonder if it's because everything's more expensive.
No. It is not a new record for the number of sales. He's talking about online
shopping record.
Yes, because you know why? Because they don't have actual Black Friday sales anymore.
There's no
so
advantage to
everyone goes
So like
online.
waking up and going to the store and apparently fighting each other. Like I used to, Bass Pro Shop was my go-to on Black Friday. I used to go sit
What
in that
is the
parking
difference? What is the difference between Black Friday and Cyber Monday now? It's the same thing.
Nothing.
Is it not?
Nothing.
It
There's
used
no
to
difference.
It used to be that Black Friday was an in-person sale and Cyber Monday was the online version of what Black Friday was.
But
That's
now
what it
it's
used to
just-
be. Now it's all the same.
All online.
Should we be calling it Cyber Weekend? Or like...
I'm down with that.
Or if
Cyber
they
Weekend.
actually just give us sales, because they're not. They're not giving us sales. Did you know
Wait.
Amazon offers a sale every day? Like it's one of those things.
Well, and
Deals
to,
of the day, like
to the point of what you're saying and to what Josh is saying, the deals of the day are like, 10, 20% off. It's not what Black Friday used to be, which was,
Dollar-
40, 50, 60% off.
Do you think we're all kind of like sitting back in our rocking chairs on our lawn right now, being like, back in my day
Yes.
on Black Friday, I used to go and grab
no.
my cart and get my TVs for
No.
$20?
No, I don't actually. Normally, I would skew that direction.
But this is like legit. This isn't a back in my day
This
thing.
is an actual thing. This is not Greg Cody back in my day. This is quite literally something that has changed over the past. Why are you rocking back and forth? Will you stop
Because
that?
I have so much nostalgia right now for a rocking chair, and it just reminded me of how soothing rocking chairs are. Like that is something from the past we need to bring back. It's just rocking chairs. So soothing.
Literally any Cracker Barrel in America.
But again, we're not
Stop, Ryan.
we're not talking about the change of price in goods. We're talking about the change of price in sale. It used to be a good sale, and like Josh said, it's
And now
now
it's
like
just-
10% off. And I'm like, what? I get $1 off my $500 order? Thanks.
It's like I loved dollar Blu-rays and $250 for a surround sound system, and
It was worth it. It was worth it to go over and wait and pull an all-nighter. Again, Bass Pro Shop used to be legit. Dog beds were like $15, so those would be like the first thing to go. And nowadays, it's nope, $50. You get $2 off. Woo.
Yeah. I gotta side with them on this one. I don't think this is a old man shakes fist at sky.
So bring back rocking chairs. I'm all for that. Yes, agreed.
they didn't leave, Ryan. You left
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, you left the rocking
left
chair.
them. That's the best way to put it. All right, let's go to music.
Music.
Went to Key West.
Yes. So much fun.
Got a chance to get up and sing and hang out with a bunch of our Key West friends. I do have to say, it is interesting to me when I see the differences in how people perform down there
Yep.
as opposed to Nashville.
Sure.
It is so much more loose, over the top, and at times
Crass.
that's I was going to say vulgar, but crass works.
A lot of the people down there use a loop to like they'll play something, add it to a loop, and let
Yeah,
it play. So it
it's a
looks
lot
like
of
so
loop
it sounds like
stations.
they have like a band, but they don't.
Now, I will also say certain people do it better than others.
For sure.
But shout out to our buddy if you ever end up in Key West, New York, Polly.
New York Polly. The legend.
Oh, I got a
man.
favorite down there though. Caffeine Carl is my guy down there in Key West.
Caffeine car. New York.
New York Polly is the guy.
He's
He
a one of
is.
Oh,
one.
I don't know, man.
the guy.
The smoking tuna Caffeine Carl, that guy shreds the guitar.
All right. Well, does he sing WAP? Because New York Polly does.
He did do WAP.
Actually, if you requested WAP by Caffeine Carl, I would love to see that.
Next time we're all down there, I know what we're doing.
Songwriters Fest 2023. WAP is going to
To
be
give you
requested.
an
by
example
Caffeine
of
Carl.
New York
Oh,
Polly,
man.
like he'll be yelling at people in the streets to come in the bar, and then someone yelled, "We got a 20-year-old," because you have to be 21 and up to get in after 6, and he goes, "Just tie him to the tree across the street."
He's over the top.
So entertaining. He
He's
is so
over the top.
entertaining.
But it was a lot of fun. And then, obviously, if we're in the music section, and I just said everything that I said when we were getting started, it's time for Christmas music, baby. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And also, Mariah Carey just got absolutely obliterated on the internet.
I mean, it wasn't a good performance. She
Did
stood
she
there.
just play it?
Well, she did.
Yeah.
She was right before Santa showed up
Macy's.
at the Macy's Day Parade, and it was.
She's been struggling the last couple of years.
But they
it
don't
was-
actually
But
sing.
it was not a great lip singing performance
Yeah.
from her.
Well, in general, she just stood there
And
holding an
she
umbrella
didn't
in a
move.
dress that was too tight for her, and she just kind of went. I'm like, Mariah, what are you doing? You've been doing this song for how many years?
If I remember reading, she makes something like $2.5 million every
A year.
Christmas.
She's
for-
made $75 million off of this song since it came out.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy.
So do it justice, Mariah.
No,
No.
that time out. That's not really the point. It was more that
You performed the song to your
she
fullest.
was the last person before Santa arrived at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And she just kind of stood there with an umbrella for some reason. It was a very awkward performance.
She just does what she does, man.
I get
Mariah-
it. I mean,
Mariah's
by the
out
way,
here.
she doesn't give a
Nope.
crap, and neither does anybody else. I'm still gonna play that song all Christmas. Like
She already won.
she won. She
like,
wins.
what level did that song become crazy? And like, when did it become crazy insane? Because I remember.
God.
No. Because I remember that song being out, and I liked listening to it on Christmas every now and then, but it wasn't as big of a hype as it is now. Because one year, my dance recital, someone did a dance to that song, and like, it was good, but it wasn't until I feel like the last 5-6 years that it became the thing over the internet. Mariah Carey's coming, y'all, with her song.
I mean, it's the meme generation has blown it
Yeah.
out for sure. For sure.
How crazy is it though that it was not until 2019 when it topped the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 for the first time? 25 years.
Okay, yes.
After its
So
original release.
Josh is right.
So
It's the meme and
Josh
the
is
internet.
correct.
The memes and the internet that got her.
Thank you, internet, so much. Go ahead.
Keep going. I'm just.
You're
I'm just
reading
reading.
something.
I'm
I
reading all
was
about
figured
it.
you were
Yeah,
getting ready to
no.
say something. All right. We should probably just go to what are you listening to at this point?
Do you want to know the
feel
poll winner for this week, by the way?
Oh,
for the record?
actually, yes, I do, Ryan. Who won the poll?
So, and to inform our good friends, our good Quad Pod Squad, I've been putting the polls up on Twitter because they last longer than they do on Instagram. So
I still
I'm going
think
to
you
try to
should do
continue
both.
to do this a little bit. Well, then you get skewed numbers. if you do
Yeah,
both.
then
Yeah,
it's
but
not
you
gonna,
have
it's
more
not gonna,
people
it's
on
not gonna match
Instagram.
though. It's not gonna match.
We have more people on Instagram.
So I've been sharing it on Instagram to link back to Twitter because it can live for 5 to 6 days, which I think is a little bit more accurate of a poll data number. So with that being said, the hot take last week was, do condiments belong in the fridge? And with a resounding 92.3% of the vote,
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
they
yes,
do.
and also I feel like most people that voted on this did the same thing that you've been guilty of before, Ryan, and it's how you phrased it.
So what's wrong with the phrasing now? Do condiments belong in the fridge? Same thing.
No, because
You're just mad you lost again.
Do all condiments.
All condiments belong in the fridge.
Same thing. It's the same thing. He
no,
can
it's
rephrase it
not.
and it'll be the
It's
same.
not the same thing.
to be fair, I kept the receipts and I asked you on
To
the
be
podcast
fair.
last week the phrasing, and do condiments belong in the fridge was what we all agreed upon. But I can respond with all in an asterisk just to make sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan. Redo that poll. I would like to see it. Thanks.
Anyway, it's not important. What are you listening to? We're gonna go to you first, Rye.
All right. So for this week on my What Am I Listening To? It's actually an artist that that I've come to know from Nashville locally. She has an incredible voice. Her name is Kaylee Bishop. If anyone's had an opportunity to see her live in Nashville. And she's truly, really, really talented. Her song Honey Yes, though, is one of the songs that I wanted to put out there that she released recently. So Kaylee Bishop, Honey Yes, check her out on Spotify. If you're ever around in Nashville, she plays a lot locally. She's got a great voice.
Kaylee's awesome. I've been down an emo kick lately.
Tonight.
Hands down, this is the best date. So I am choosing Hands Down by Dashboard Confessional.
All right. Bear.
I'm going with another new song. It's called, I've never even heard of this guy before, but it comes across like fun. Like, I like the song a lot. It's called Enough by Charlie on a Friday. Never heard of him, but again, I'm one of those people that loves listening to random songs, and that's what I like.
What are you doing?
What?
Put your leg down.
I like to face you guys when I talk, and it always doesn't feel good. Jesus. I'm sorry. Can we
It
edit
doesn't
that
feel
out
good.
because that's going to sound weird on the podcast?
No, we should leave that in. You're
No,
like
that's gonna sound
actively
weird.
kicking me while you're
I'm
sitting
not
in a
even
chair.
kicking you.
We're gonna go. Why Should I Worry by Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
A little Billy Joel action. One of my mom's favorite artists of all time.
I have a conflicted relationship with him.
Why?
There's a documentary called Hired Gun on
Oh, I know. Now I know where you're going with this.
and there's some drama that he, and I don't think it's any fault of Billy Joel's necessarily, but he was in a rough place in his career and then took it out on his band. And so it paints him in like an awkward light, and then I've just always kind of been like, ooh, that was not handled super well.
You know what though, and full disclosure, I have not seen that, and you and I have talked about it before. If you dig deep enough on anybody, you're going to find something you don't like.
Absolutely. And it's all perspective. This is from someone who got fired from a gig. So of course it's going to be seen
Yeah.
through the lens of being frustrated and
Of course. And by the way, you know what? In reverse, and not saying this just because I am an artist, you never hear about the guys that aren't the front man leaving when people aren't making enough money. And
Right.
that's happened to me before
sure.
back in the day.
Sure.
You never hear about those. You only hear about when someone feels they're unfairly let go.
Correct.
You're
Yeah.
also talking to somebody that, like, I've got members of my band that have been with me for 17 years, so I'm not that kind of person, but I'm sure there are people out there that I've worked with before that feel slighted. And it's very easy for them to go, I don't like this person because they fired me.
And he didn't, well, or I had to go find a different gig because I wasn't getting paid what I was worth. And it's like, well, what are you worth? The market dictates what you're worth.
Right.
The job dictates what you're worth. Your worth is not.
Same thing with me. I mean,
Absolutely. Your offer sheets for shows
I
are,
would love to get paid, 10
10x,
times what I
10x,
get
yeah,
paid.
absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not how it works.
it's based on like popularity, how many butts and seats you can make, et cetera. Like
Yeah.
these are all like tangible things. And so this is just finite. Well, if you're going to make X
So
per
I
show,
guess
you can play this on.
I just have a different perspective. And again, I need to watch that just to see what you're talking about.
It's a really good documentary. It's a documentary all about being a hired side person. So a band to an artist, but you don't actually know these players' names.
Right.
Yeah.
I just sometimes I think that smacks a bit of,
Oh, it's
hey, I have an opportunity because I'm not necessarily a name to disparage this person who is a name.
who's not going to comment on it regardless.
Who's never going to say anything.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No, yeah.
It's a
you
bit
have to
weird.
take everything with the context in which you're hearing it.
But nobody does that.
Of course not.
It's the
It's a headline.
it's the internet, man.
It's a headline. Run with it.
Oh, Lord. All right, let's go to sports.
Sports.
Win of the week. I have one.
Is it you?
Is it a good one?
It's me. Last night,
Oh God.
Eagles minus 6.5, over 46.5. AJ Brown, anytime touchdown scorer,
Is that plus 450?
plus 380. But go ahead and I'm not going to say exactly what it was because it's just kind of disgusting. But yeah. For
Well
anyone not watching on YouTube, one, you should. Two, I
Yeah.
just showed it to Josh.
Can I give you an actual win of the week?
Sure.
Yeah. No.
Another one. That
This
is a
was
win.
an actual win of the
That's
week.
a win of the week, but you can have
Like,
another
can I
one.
give you-
Let me put it
can I
this
give
way,
you-
Ryan. Guess what number it is?
I can't.
Just throw a number out there.
17.
Not far off.
Wow, he's really close. You're really close.
You're real close.
All right. What was the number?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Go ahead. What is your
Well,
win
he
of the
basically
week?
just told everyone what it was anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. What is your win of the week?
For the second straight week, it's going to be South Carolina, this time upsetting Clemson as they were a 14.5-point dog and knocking off Clemson's 40 straight home win streak. Back-to-back top 10 wins for South Carolina. First time they've ever done that in their history. So, win of the week, South Carolina. Cox.
All right. So here's
Go
my
Cox.
thing. Do we
God bless.
do we think South Carolina is for real? Because Clemson, let's be honest, they're not what they were when they were taken down.
Yeah, I think this
Alabama
more
guys.
has. I think this has to do more with Clemson than it does South Carolina. Like I think South Carolina is better than we had believed, and Spencer Rattler's obviously emerged the last 2 weeks as showing he's better than we had believed he was. But I think it's Clemson having a down year than it is South Carolina being very good.
Okay.
But it was an impressive win over Tennessee. They hung 63 on Tennessee too. So let's not forget about that. Like this team's actually better than we thought.
No. By the way, anyone from South Carolina, I am in no way, shape, or form criticizing your team. They have put up back-to-back incredible weeks. I also just want to say I find it interesting that you look at Texas, they lose to TCU,
Who's good?
who's really good,
Who's going to make the playoff?
by a touchdown. Yeah. They absolutely demolished Kansas, and then they beat Baylor by 11, which I don't know that game was actually as close as that final score looks. But they're sitting at 8-4. So I just feel like they are the same thing that they've been for like the past 5 to 6 years, which is just good enough to beat good teams, but not consistent enough to beat everyone the way they need to beat them to get into the playoff. They obviously there's 8-4 is not going to make the playoff, but I just
If Alabama was, they're going to make it regardless because the politics.
I don't think Alabama's going to make it.
I don't think they're
Oh,
going to
because
make
I
it.
just
know.
saw
It-
something saying they were going to jump up to 4 again, and I'm like, what?
Nope.
No.
No.
It could come down to Alabama or Ohio State if we have some chaos here towards the end of this week. If we have some chaos, I don't know. I care about you. I care about you. Don't doubt against Nick Saban and Alabama somehow getting into the playoff.
Which
Somehow.
okay, what in the hell is going on with Florida, Bear?
We haven't been good. Plain and simple. I everyone
you
wants to
played
talk
close to the 16th team in the country. You played pretty close. You played
Yeah,
pretty close
well-
to the 16th team in the country.
It doesn't matter. We're not good. You have to win, right? That's the kind of the point of college football.
A win is a win, a loss is a loss.
And it's-
Tennessee's out.
So how many games has Tennessee lost?
They've lost one game.
They've
No,
lost 2.
two.
So
No.
So why would Tennessee be out before Alabama, even though Alabama has
Tennessee
lost
lost
more
to
games?
Georgia.
Yeah. And then they lost to they just got their butts beat like a week ago.
South Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what, 2 losses. So why would Alabama have a chance to be in over Tennessee when Tennessee has fewer losses?
And then
this
they-
is the
And
politics.
And Tennessee beat Alabama.
They then blanked Vandy
Super hard
they
to do.
destroyed Vandy. We went their backup quarterback. for the record.
with a
Oh,
backup.
Vandy
Hey.
beat Florida the week before too.
By the way, if he can fix his accuracy, have you seen some of the throws that guy
Yeah,
makes?
Milton's good. Yeah, John Milton third's pretty good.
Dude, it's like he just like flicks his wrist and the ball goes like 60 yards. It's wild.
But again, that's my thing with the politics of college football. They always do it not based solely on the actual team itself. They're like, well, they almost lost to this team, so we're gonna just we're going to put them forward, even though this other team beat the other team. But it just doesn't make sense. I hate the way that college does their rankings with a passion.
I will tell you though, this is the most anticlimactic final weekend or conference championship weekend in college football, because 3 of these teams are guaranteed to get into the playoff. Georgia, Michigan, and TCU are guaranteed to get into the playoff, basically. So that only leaves one spot, which is USC. And by the way, this is the first time USC has been relevant since I think that Texas national championship game. I can't remember the last time USC was relevant, and now they're in the position to make the playoff.
Which I also want to talk about this. There's an article on now. Granted, this is knoxnews.com, so understand that going in.
Our good friends,
Yes, our good friends at knoxnews.com. They're complaining about the fact that LSU will basically stumble into the SEC championship to face Georgia and Atlanta. And it should be Tennessee, because Tennessee beat the crap out of them 40-13 in October in Baton Rouge.
Doesn't LSU have three losses?
They do.
So again, it does not make sense with the way they work these politics. Why?
But it's the divisions. That's not even a politics thing. It's the way the divisions are split. And this has happened several years in the SEC, where there's a team that ends up playing in the championship for the SEC that has more losses than multiple other teams in the other side of the division. And that's just the way it works. I mean, once you create divisions, that it's going to happen. But I do find it very interesting that they are going to end up being there.
Tennessee was having the year of their lives, and they're just like, nope, sorry, you lost to Georgia and this other team. But other teams have lost more games, so goodbye. It just, again, someone just comes in and makes these rankings on their own because of a committee, not because of the actual games.
I mean, I have to laugh. The committee is on something this year, because UCF lost to Navy and was still ranked 22nd in the CFP, which is great.
Did you just admit
Yes.
that UCF shouldn't be ranked?
Yes. They
Again?
almost lost to a 1-10. They almost lost to a 1-10 football team.
There's no more.
They almost lost to a 1-10 football team on Saturday night and had to have a game-saving one-handed catch with 22 seconds left to beat USF.
Wow.
But still alive for a conference title and still alive for a New Year's Six bowl game. So let's go.
Again, the committee, I don't care if the committee can hear me. Get it together. How about you be real?
You want a computer instead of a committee?
No, I just want logic.
No, we don't.
I want
We
logic. We don't need a committee. Just go based on how it's supposed to, naturally.
I would just appreciate, and I think this is sort of what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would appreciate it not being based on what teams have done in previous years, because Alabama this year is not the Alabama that we're used to seeing. They're just not.
It's a yearly based thing. It should not be
But
on the
here's-
past.
I am so confused. Well, I'm not confused, but I feel like we're finally at the part and time in the sport where Alabama is not going to reign supreme anymore because of NIL. Like the playing field is now even. This is Nick Saban's worst year since his first season in Alabama. It's interesting to watch because this has been the most dominant program in college football for the last 12 years. And now we're starting to see their demise a little bit because the playing field's
now
evened
when
up.
they can just come out in the very beginning and just be like, we're going to pay you.
Yeah.
It does make it fair. So suck it, Alabama. You can't ride off what you've been riding off for the last years.
Florida's got to figure out how to start paying people,
Florida's
All right.
Florida. Okay.
Let's
Does Tebow have any eligibility left?
oh Jesus Christ.
Right?
Literally. Let's go Dolphins. Dolphins talk.
Yes, 8-3 back in first place in the AFC East.
Yeah, you beat the
they were-
Texans, a 1-8-1 team. Woo! And you let them put 15 points on the board. Woo!
Yes, because we took our starters out after the first half. That's why they put 15 points up. because our starters sat after the first half. By the way, not only is Tua having an MVP caliber season,
He's not going to be MVP.
The Dolphins.
Wait a
the Dolphins
minute.
offense is
You took your
Dolphins
starters out?
They took the starters out in the second half. Yeah, they were up
So,
30-0.
Who was playing QB in the second half?
Skylar Thompson of your Kansas State Wildcats,
Yeah.
by the way.
Ema.
Skylar Thompson, Ema. By the way, the Dolphins offense, for
That's
the
where I was
record, is
going.
having one of the best seasons in NFL history. They are averaging 6.69 yards per play with Tua on the field. That ranks third of any team the last 65 seasons. This is a historic year for Miami, but
I want to see y'all play good teams.
This is not a
Speaking
historic
of-
year for Miami. How dare you? How dare you even say that this is a historic year for the Miami Dolphins,
it is.
who had a team that went undefeated in the regular season? How
This is
dare
offensive
you?
historic.
How
Now,
dare you?
Can I rebut Bear for a second here? You're going to get a chance here over the next 4 weeks to see what this team is made of, because you've got Jimmy G and the 49ers next.
Okay,
After that,
Jimmy
you've
G
got
is not good.
You've got Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. After
Who is
that,
also terrible, who I've been saying that all season.
you've got the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers.
Or
Who-
Jordan
Who are-
Love, potentially, because
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers is hurt with a
And,
rib
and
injury.
Aaron Rodgers is
And
what,
then
3?
Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo for the division. Next
do
4
not
weeks,
look
we'll see
like
what this
what
team's
they
made of.
look like last year.
All right, let's go. First place Miami Dolphins.
Ryan, I owe you an apology.
Oh no.
Oh, my God.
Is
Oh,
this
my God.
happening? It's happening.
Oh, my
I
God.
think that not only will the Miami Dolphins win their division, I think that everything is lining up to play at Kansas City for the AFC Championship, a return of Tyreek Hill versus the Chiefs, where we will decide once and for all, was it Tyreek or was it Patrick Mahomes? That is what I think is going to happen this year.
Wow.
It
That's
just makes
big, Ryan.
it makes too much sense as a
Ryan is
narrative.
so happy right now.
I'm hyperventilating. Oh, I
Could be reverse jinxing them also. Just
excited.
Ryan is so happy.
Again, I just want y'all to realize where these teams have gone this year. No one besides a couple, like the Eagles came out of nowhere. Also, who have played a very easy schedule. It's the way that the teams have adjusted and changed this year. It's just like kind of like, is
Well,
anyone actually
let me-
good, or are we just doing this because we are?
Let me also throw this out there. While you're crowing about being 8-3 in your division, you know who else is now 8-3 in their division?
the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys,
Also, the Buffalo Bills are 8-3.
who just defeated the Giants, another division game, which was very important, while being sick, while coming off of a very quick turnaround for Thanksgiving, and finally winning a Thanksgiving Day game, which we have not done in like the last 10 years, notoriously. Very, very big win, even with the penalties, even with the 2 interceptions by Dak Prescott. Schultz is healthy again. 2 touchdowns. Zeke looks like Zeke. We've got a 2-headed monster with him and Pollard, which you've seen over the past couple weeks. Our defense looks good. I feel really, really confident not only that we will remain in the playoff seating, but that we could catch the Vikings. And depending on what happens over the next couple weeks, could catch the Eagles if they don't keep up with what they've been doing. And here's why
and
I say
the
that.
Eagles haven't
Here's
looked
why I
good.
say that. They have been very tight with some of these games. A win is a win. It doesn't matter. The Eagles look amazing. I can say that as a Cowboys fan. They look great. That being said, I will also point out that our next 3 games, while we might lose one of them, I think we win at least 2, possibly all 3, because it's Colts, Jags, and then who's the third game?
The Eagles?
No. We don't play the Eagles until after that. It's Colts, Jags. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. Because again, but I
I
know
looked
Philly
this up
looks
this
good, but
morning.
these last couple games they haven't been playing.
Texans are in between that, so it's Colts,
yes.
Texans.
Thank
Jags.
you. Colts, Texans, Jags. And I think those are all, as long as we don't have any injuries, very winnable games for the Cowboys. That then puts them at 11-3 going in to face the Eagles and then the Titans to round out the season, and then the Commanders.
Since we're in a mood of issuing apologies, I would like to issue one to you, C1. Because a few weeks ago, I said on this very podcast, The Quad with Chris Young, that the AFC East was a better division than the NFC East. And if the season ended today, all 4 NFC East teams would make the playoffs, including the Washington Redskins. Oh, Commanders. Excuse me.
C words.
Which have won 3 consecutive games. The hottest team in the NFC East. I apologize. The best division in football is the NFC East by far. Better than the AFC East.
This is the latest in the season since 2014 that every single team in one division is 2 games or more above 500. This is the latest it's ever been since 2014. It's pretty impressive.
Well, if we're all
Kinda
issuing
crazy.
apologies here, I don't have any.
You still think
Sorry,
the Bears
sorry,
suck?
I'm not
The
sorry.
Bears still
Sorry, I'm not
suck.
sorry.
Let the Trevor Siemian era begin.
Oh, God.
So I will say that there is, I think in the predictions, I think I quoted that the Bears might win 4 games this year. And we're on track because we are still at 3, baby. Let's go.
I think Peter
I also would
starts
like
next
to,
week.
Peterman.
I also would like to point out, since we're talking about bad offenses, the Denver Broncos this season are averaging 14.27 points per game. That is the worst mark by any team since 2000.
So I have to point something out. There is a guy on TikTok, and I'm so sorry for not giving you appropriate credit, whoever you are, sir. But every week he does an update on has the Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson thrown for more touchdown passes than they have bathrooms in the house that he has with Sierra. And they still haven't done it yet. It's amazing. It's the
Wait, how many
funniest
bathrooms do they
breakdown.
have?
I don't
I'm
know,
curious
but
now. How
more
many
than
bathrooms?
they have touchdowns this
I
season.
think
That's
there's
all I know.
What is it,
7?
like 7 touchdowns? And I guess there's more bathrooms in that house than 7 touchdowns. So
I saw a stat, and I think I shared it in our group, that Carson Wentz, who hasn't played since week 6, still has more touchdown passes than Russell Wilson
I
this
mean,
season.
how is he this bad?
is he
How?
purposely
He-
trying to like get out of
he-
football?
You know, he
let's
got
ride.
absolutely
Broncos country.
berated. He got berated on the sidelines by a teammate yesterday, which was just
saw that.
hilarious.
I saw that.
Absolutely hilarious.
Just getting screamed at.
By his defense. Defense was just like, can you effing do something?
Yeah.
Well,
they were not
again-
happy.
And he's like, let's ride.
How hyped was everyone to get Russell Wilson? And this has become more disappointing than something inappropriate, I would say. But it's fine. Like, it's.
You
Everyone's.
talking about KC?
Casey's taking care of business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not much to talk about.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose in November or December.
He hasn't.
Isn't he 26-0?
26-0 in November and December. When in doubt.
Insane.
But he ain't going to cover.
He ain't going to cover. And they're going to do some stupid shit in the middle of games that for no reason. They're like, oh, how about Sky Moore with a lateral back to Patrick for a pass? Like stupid stuff because they don't want to they just try stuff. At
Just
this
dumb.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy Reid, when he's like, oh, we've got this game in the bag, he just starts trying things to see if he can pull them off. It's great. It's great to be a Chiefs fan. For the first time in my life for the last 5 years.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
Wow. All right. Speaking of disappointing, let's go to movies. Movies. None of us saw the movie that we were going to talk about. So instead, we're going to talk about something we did watch.
The Good Nurse.
The Good Nurse.
Ryan's getting his good nurse kick in.
You're getting it. You're getting it, Ryan. You win.
Yes.
By the way, I am going to attempt to. It's still in theaters, right?
The good nurse?
Glass
Or the-
Onion.
Glass Onion. I don't know if it continues to be in theaters, but it goes to Netflix, I think, today.
Okay.
I think it was like
so
opening.
let's do
that's,
that.
That's what we're doing for next week.
Yeah.
Everybody was. I should have known that was going to happen. I know better than to think that we should have attempted something that was only in theaters the week of Thanksgiving. But whatever.
In retrospect, we were
In retrospect, I was
ambitious.
mistaken.
ambitious.
Another apology from me. So, if you have not watched The Good Nurse yet, go ahead and skip about 10 minutes forward. The Good Nurse 2022 crime drama, 2 hours and 1 minute. 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, 87. Let me try that again. 87% of Google users like this movie. Nurse, is it Lauren? Amy Lauren? I can't remember how her last name is pronounced.
I think it's
shocked.
Lauren.
Okay.
I think it's Amy Lauren.
Amy Lauren is shocked when Charlie Cullen, one of her colleagues, is found responsible for the murder of dozens of patients over a period of 16 years across 2 states and 9 hospitals without being charged. That is a little bit simplified of what it is. And they said that, okay, so hit the spoiler. Eddie Redmayne, Jessica Chastain, great acting in this. Obviously, this is based on a true crime book, The Good Nurse, a true story of medicine, madness, and murder. And it is someone who is believed to not just be in the teens, but
400.
possibly 400 people during a 16-year stint as a nurse. That this
In
this
the
person,
New Jersey area between 98 and 2003 specifically.
yeah, pretty crazy. And then kind of the culmination of this. Did this need to be a 2-hour movie? Probably not. Was it interesting? If you like true crime drama, yeah, this is your thing. This is your thing right here. I thought it was kind of weird that there would be that big a disparity in what
The
they
numbers.
think the number is.
That's got to come
Because
down
it
to
goes
liability.
from 16
So it
to
is.
400.
So the biggest thing in this movie, and it really creeps me out, and it just shows that how much businesses care about their businesses over human lives, because they all these hospitals essentially basically knew what was happening, but because it was happening under their watch, they thought it would be the easiest way to find a way to fire him, aside from the fact that they knew what he was doing, and would let him go to the next hospital without.
I want to be clear. I would just want to make sure that I don't think these hospitals intentionally knew what was going on and allowed a serial killer to continue killing patients.
I think they did.
But I think where you're getting at, Bear, is that they wouldn't allocate the resources that were necessary to potentially stop something like this from happening. I think that would be the better political way to say it.
Yeah, I agree.
The fact that it took cops and one over the main business's head to finally be like, no, there needs to be an investigation on this. And then they budged the investigation just to try and not make it look bad.
Well, and the other thing too is like in this movie, obviously the ending is the only way that they got him to admit it was
With her.
because of her.
Right. Because she wore a wire, right?
Yeah.
Well, no. So
She basically coerced him into
she had to
Admitting
play the whole friend thing because it was like her best friend. And the guy who played Charlie in this was phenomenal.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yes,
he's
he was
a fantastic
phenomenal.
actor.
I think
and by the way,
both,
so is she.
both were amazing. Yeah,
Jessica
they both were
Chastain's
incredible
awesome.
in this film.
Obviously, one of those things where it's a little weird because was based on a true story and just absolutely terrible.
But it's also such a good, like, I thought this was so well done in the fact that not only do you have the good nurse, which is obviously Amy, and you have Charlie, right? You have these two kind of juxtapositions against each other: good nurse, bad nurse, serial killer, good person, and then you as an audience get drawn in because of their friendship and their intimacy. Like you get built up to eventually knowing this is going to crumble and come to an end. But that, like, the details of that and how that's kind of how that plays out throughout this film is fascinating.
And also on top of it, she's risking her job by going along with the police secretly, even though she needs that job to get health insurance because she has her own heart problems that she's trying to save for a transplant for.
There's a lot of underlying things. That was the one thing that obviously this is, again, based on a true story, but just the way that they handled character development in this movie, I thought was really interesting. I thought they did a really good job of handling that and the humanity and lack thereof on the other side.
Well, and the good news is after you watch this movie, you can turn around and watch the actual documentary with the real people on Netflix as well, because they have that on there. So you can actually see what happens and how it unfolds and how it is the show is, or the movie is, closely related to what actually happened.
If it's 400, if that's really the number, then of course they're not going to allocate resources towards it, because they will be found liable for so many more deaths under their watch, under their care.
And that's also essentially how many nurses suspected it but didn't say anything. And then it finally took one nurse to finally be like, okay, you guys, I'll help you out. Like,
which proves if you Jody must see something, you Jody must say something.
Like, if you notice that there's something wrong, like, it's scary because we leave our lives in their head whenever we need to. You know what I mean? And essentially someone who's supposed to be taking care of you for some reason just secretly wanted to kill you because he was injecting stuff into their IV bags, which is how he was killing people.
And it was insulin.
Insulin, yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do also like the undertones in this film of trying to call attention to money for hospital resources, health insurance, and care for those that care for us. Like, there were underlying themes in this movie that I think were trying to be told through the drama of it all, and I like the way that was done.
They did do a very good job on that.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought the acting on the part of the two of them was really good.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the two of them, I think that this would not have been a very good movie.
I would have rather just seen the documentary. Me personally.
Yep.
Thanks for watching it, guys.
You
Thanks
loved it, didn't you?
The Good Doctor.
I
Love
thought
that
it was
show.
good.
The Good Doctor.
I love The Good Chef. The Good Chef is one of my favorites. You know.
Oh, man. All right. Let's go to the hot take.
Hot take!
And so we'll do Glass Onion for next week.
Yes. Beach versus mountains, guys.
I have a very logical. All right. So
Go ahead.
I have never seen a more breathtaking view than in a mountain, right? But born and raised on the beaches, there is nothing better. In the mountain, it's a beautiful view. On the beaches, I can drink, I can lay out in the sun, I can go swimming, I can do all these things, and
You can
it's
do
warm.
all those things in a mountain.
It's
She
warm.
started with a drink.
You can drink in the mountains, I promise you.
Okay, it's not the same because then I have to hike up there. So I love to hike. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But growing up on the beaches, I would prefer palm trees, sun, and an ocean over a mountain, a cold mountain. I'm sorry. They get cold. It's a lot. There's bears. Wrong. Bear spray is expensive.
Yeah, there it is.
Bear spray is very expensive.
It's been a while since you've hit that sounder.
Just for old time's sake.
But yes,
Yeah, just because.
if living in the cold, I'd have to go with a beach. I want the ocean, especially since we just came from
Go
the
ahead,
ocean.
Ryan.
So there have actually been studies done on beach or mountains based on personality types. There was a study done by the University of Virginia that looked into, is there a link between geography and personality? And in fact, they found,
Yes.
based on their studies, that extroverts prefer the beach to the mountains, while introverts prefer mountains to the beach. I naturally, we all love me, I'm an extrovert.
Wow.
We all love me.
I love the beach. I'm born and raised in Miami. I love water. There's nothing better to me than being on the water. It is where my happy place is. It is where I feel serene and calm and happy and fulfilled. It is the beach by far, where I can be in sandals and shorts
I'm not
and be blessed
surprised
by
you're
the sun.
rocking an Otter PR shirt, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, here at work.
And also, yes, you can swim in the mountains, and I've done that once, and I skinny dipped, and it was ice cold.
Wait. Here's the thing that I hate when you pull a stat like that, Rye. That doesn't have anything to do with a mountain or a beach. Extrovert to
kind of
introvert.
does.
No, it doesn't. You know what it has to do with? There are less people per square foot in the mountains than there are per square foot on a beach. Hence, introverts are going to be more comfortable where there's less people, and extroverts would rather be around more people.
Also, beaches are destinations for spring break, et cetera, which
Yeah.
are full of extroverted people.
Well, yeah, so it makes sense.
No, yeah,
I
but
didn't-
that
I
doesn't
didn't
have
do this
anything to
study.
do with it being a beach or a mountain. That has everything to do with the number of people that are there.
You yell at the Journal of Research and Personality, not me. They are the ones that did
That's
this
just a BS statistic.
But that's because more
Whoa,
people prefer the
whoa.
beach than
That's
they do
just
the
a
mountains.
BS statistic. Go ahead.
You know, I love both. I flip flop on this a lot. I really do. Younger, it was definitely mountains. Then I had this stretch of life where I really appreciated a beach. I just really appreciated parking my ass in the sand and doing nothing. But if I have to choose, there is something, and the ocean is awesome and it's big and it's vast, but it's just flat and it's there. There is something awesome about just the nature and the natural beauty of mountains and how big they are. And specifically for me, it's the Rockies, because those were the closest ones growing up. And I've had some of the best times of my life in Colorado. And when I was 17, my band got signed by an indie label out of Denver. So I have a lot of affection because we had to drive out to Colorado every 6 weeks to record our record. I have a lot of history with it. And so for that reason, I'm still going to choose beach.
Wow.
Yes, I love the mountains, but that's a one time a year thing maybe. Most of the time, if you choose to go somewhere, you're choosing to go to the beach.
Okay.
Beach, please.
Beach better have my money.
Growing up, I feel very similar to you, Josh, that I love snow and I love cold weather and I love big puffy jackets. But the older that I've gotten,
It's me, you and me, bro.
Broth? Did you just broth it?
I broth
this is going to be the very first time in the history of this podcast that all of us are picking the same thing. And I'm going beach, baby, because I love the beach. I love being able to go out there and get some sun, sit in the sand, feel the surf. Let's go!
It really is. It's a getting older thing. It,
It
really
is,
is.
man.
It really is.
I love it. I love
I
it.
understand why old people
I
end
loved
up
it.
in Naples and whatever.
Well,
It's
but I mean,
great.
not even that. I love getting out on a boat and going fishing, and it's just easier to do on the beach. It's just more fun.
It's warm when it's cold up here. It's great.
Yep,
It's
exactly.
There's way more
And for
beach
that
songs
reason,
than there are mountain songs.
for the first time
You see?
ever on the history of this podcast, all of us are going beach. So if you don't think that and you think it's mountains, I need you to get on the Twitter and vote.
Sounds like we should all
Yes.
go to the beach here pretty soon.
We should.
That's what I'm hearing.
We should. Thank you guys again for listening to The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris from Ryan, Haley, Josh, and myself. We love you guys. Thanks again for all your support, and